today we're going to be talking about how to graph lines from equations and inequalities that are in standard form. Okay, so as a reminder, standard form is ax plus by equals c. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to convert the equation from standard form into slope-intercept form. As a reminder, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay. After we get into slope-intercept form, the first thing that we're going to do is plot the b value, which is the y-intercept, and then we're going to use the slope to complete the line. Okay. Remember, if you have an inequality and you have to multiply or divide by a negative, then you have to flip the symbol. Right? Now, as a reminder from our last note sheet, when we're talking about inequalities, if you have a greater than or equal to sign, you are going to shade, oh, sorry, I put it in the wrong spot. We are going to shade above is what goes in this line, above the y-intercept for greater than or equal to, and we are going to shade below the y-intercept for less than or equal to. Okay. Also, as a reminder, the equal to symbols have solid lines, and the no line, not equal to symbols have dashed lines. Okay. Just a quick recap of some vocabulary. The x-intercept is when the graph touches the x-axis. That is the horizontal axis. Okay, there are a few other words that are very important that mean the same thing as x-intercept. Okay, and they are solution, root, and zero. Okay, solution, root, and zero. The y-intercept is going to be where the graph touches the y-axis, right? Your vertical axis. The slope is the rate of change of the graph. Okay, and you find the slope of the graph by calculating the rise over the run, right? Rise over run, right? Also known as change in y divided by change in x. Okay, so we're going to practice some over here. The first one, we see this standard form equation, 4x plus 2y equals -2. So I'm going to have to convert that into slope-intercept. So I need to subtract 4x from both sides. I end up with 2y equals -4x minus 2. I'm going to divide everything by 2. And I end up here with my answer, y equals -2x minus 1, right? So that means my slope is going to be -2, and my y-intercept I can go ahead and fill in, okay, which is -1, so 0, -1, right? And that's what I'm going to put on the graph first, 0, -1, and then with my slope of -2, I'm going to go down 2 to the right one, down 2 to the right one, up 2 to the left, up to the left, etc. Okay, this is an equal sign, so I can connect all my dots, and I have no shading. Okay, I can see what the x-intercept is here. Okay, and it's going to be halfway in between this -1 and the 0, so that's going to be -1/2. Right? Now, moving on to the next example. We are going to convert this to standard form, subtract 3x minus 3x, right? It cancels on the left. We're left over with -6y. is less than or equal to negative 3x minus 12. And we're going to divide all of the things by negative 6, okay? Don't forget, when we divide by a negative, we are going to have to flip our symbol. So let's go ahead and write the answer with the symbol flipped the other direction, right? Negative 6 divided by negative 6 cancels, and we get 1y. Negative 3 divided by negative 6 is positive 1/2 x. Negative 12 divided by negative 6 is positive 2. Okay, so my slope is 1/2. My y-intercept is 0, 2. I'm going to start off my graph at that positive y-intercept and continue it using my rise over run. So up 1, to the right 2, up 1, to the right 2, down left, down left. This has an equal to symbol underneath it, so I am going to be able to connect all of those dots, and now I have to shade, okay? Don't forget, my shading is going to be above because this is a greater than sign, right? This is going to be above because it's a greater than sign, so everything that is above my y-intercept is going to be included. Okay, and now I can see what my x-intercept is. It's the number that where the graph touches the y-axis, which we can see right over here is -4, right? Another example, -4x plus 3y is greater than -3. So I'm going to add 4x, right? Cancels on the left. We're left with 3y is greater than 4x minus 3. And then we're going to divide everything by 3. There's no need to flip the inequality symbol because we're dividing by a positive. And our final answer is y is greater than 4/3 x minus 1, right? So our slope is going to be 4 over 3, and my y-intercept is going to be 0, -1. So I'm going to go ahead and input that. 0, -1 is my first unit, and then I'm going to go up 4 for my rise, right for 3, down 4, left 3. This is going to be a dashed graph because the symbol does not have the equal to sign included on it. All right, I can see that my intercept here is going to be in between the 2 units. So what I can do is I can go to my calculator, okay, and I can actually substitute in when Desmos, okay, don't forget we want to go to the scientific calculator in Desmos, okay. My x-intercept is whenever the y value is 0, right? So I'm going to look here, okay, when my y is 0, what is my x equal? And so I can go ahead and substitute that in, right? So 0 is greater than or equal to 4x minus 1. And we're just going to want to solve that, okay? So instead of using our calculator, let's just go ahead and substitute it in. So you can see an example. 0 is greater than 4/3 x minus 1. So we would add 1 to both sides. 1 is greater to 4/3 x. And then in order to get rid of that 4/3, we would need to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 3/4. 3/4, and we end up with 3/4 is greater than x, okay? So that's what that x-intercept would be, 3 over 4. And you can see here it's almost to 1, not quite, but almost, okay? The last example, we're going to add 8x, -2y is equal to 8x minus 4. Then we divide everything by -2. We don't need to worry about the symbol because we have an equal sign. We end up with y equals, this cancels, 8 divided by -2 is -4x. -4 divided by -2 is +2. So my slope is -4/1. My b value is +2. So I'm going to go ahead and put my point there, and then I'm going to use my rise over run down 4/1. All the way down here, up 4, and left 1. My dots are all connected because it's an equal sign. Okay. I can see here it's going to be in between 1 and 0 and 1. So that is also going to be +1/2. Okay.